It's an areological, autoerotical, tubular, bovular joy. An exposular, regional, bachical, pouchular, fun for girl and boy. A latissimal, dorsical, hung like a horsical, caliphalygical ball.
The most bunular, funula.
Fruit of the lumula.
Frenchical, tongular.
Wabada, bobular, fungular, bunular, fruit of the lubular, frenchical, tongular, wabada, bobular, lessical, orbical, scorpus, bobular, tosa, ball. Hey!
Hey guys, how's the movie?
Oh, it's breastical, bubical, chestical, mammical, pendular, globular. Oh, for crying out loud, movie
There we go.
There we go. Now we're talking about Vince McMahon.
Now we're talking about Vince McMahon.
Now you told me, you messaged me, you said we're talking about V.K.M. Is that Vince McMahon or the Voodoo Kin Mafia we're going on tonight?
Could be either one. Actually, I think I think he was part of both. Maybe not.
I mean, there's so many interviews and podcasts and just people talk about the Voodoo Kin Mafia so much that I really don't think we need to add anything onto it. I think we should break new ground and talk about Vince McMahon.
Because there's no other podcast talking about him, how he's fucking everything up. Or maybe he's not. Maybe he's just genius beyond my comprehension, because I don't fucking know.
I got my first question for you. Who do you think Vince's best friends are? Like by name or just by type?
I think his kids.
You think so?
His kids are his best friends. It's probably the only people he actually talks to.
He tries to impress Shane's friends and like steal them away?
Or people on... Back in the day, I would say probably people on the roster were his best friends. But now he just...
There's too much of an age gap now, so it'd be weird if he was palling around with these young guys.
Yeah, that, and I just think he just... The way things are booked and what he does and changes them right last minute, part of me thinks that he doesn't like anybody on his roster.
I was wondering about that, too. You think he was friends with Patterson and Briscoe? Probably, right?
Probably. Those are some of the original guys. I'm sure he was friends with them.
I was watching an excellent pay-per-view review the other night, and Patterson slapped Sable on the ass or somebody, and they said Jim Ross with the call of the night, and he slaps her on the ass, and Jim Ross says, "Oh, unfamiliar territory for Patterson there." It's really good.
No, I don't know. Have you seen what they've done lately? Like at Raw?
I wanted to talk about this 3 superstars to either brand on any night. Did you see that?
Yeah, apparently that's kind of a panic decision or something like that.
Because the network, Fox or something, I assume.
Fox and USA.
You know what that does for me, though? It makes it seem like the phone a friend option. It makes it seem like a game show. Like, oh, this is wacky. 3 people can come over any day from this place, and it's make it trivial. It seems like a game show. It seems like, or like a casino, like a slot machine. And you're like, oh, bonus mode. All these spins count for 2.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a fucking phone a friend, you know? I'm gonna use my 50-50.
It's really, it doesn't feel organic at all.
Oh, no.
And that's the biggest thing.
It takes away from the effect. It already has been done to death where, you know, he's from SmackDown, what's he doing here? And he beats the guy up.
But yeah, Survivor Series, the one time a year that SmackDown and Raw superstars face off against each other.
He's not one of the 3 people allowed here tonight. What's he doing here?
Yeah, you know. Oh no, there's 4, remember? 4.
Oh, there's
Lars. Lars there. He walked in and just fucking stared
How long
at
till
him.
that gets old?
About, when did it debut? 2-3 days ago? So probably about 5 days ago it was old.
You're going to have one big name guy there every week, so it's going to be the same 4 or 5 people every 4th week, like Roman's going to go there or something. And then, you know, it's good with the women, because the women division is smaller than the men's division. I guess it's good for that. And maybe they probably did 4 so they can do a man, a woman, and a tag team.
Honestly, what I think they should do...
A man, a woman, and a tag team. I Googled that last night.
Honestly, what I think they should do is have, like, the main division titles be able to jump between... If they wanted to keep the brand split, because McMahon is very keen on the brand split. I don't know why, but whatever. If they wanted to keep the brand split, what they should do is have the main division titles be able to swap between shows. So your World Heavyweight title would, and the Universal title would...
That's stupid anyway, there's 2 different titles.
Yeah.
And what's this bullshit? I'm sorry to cut you off, but they were talking about on Raw last night, the first time the world title's been properly defended on Raw in 3 years. Is that because it's a SmackDown belt typically, or...?
Probably.
I didn't get that.
But they should merge the World and Universal title, or Heavyweight and Universal title, and they should merge the SmackDown and Raw tag titles, and they should merge the Women's
How many fucking tag teams can there be that you need 2 sets of titles?
That's just it. They don't have enough tag teams on either brand to really have a believable division.
Yeah.
So merge those main titles so those teams can swap between shows. But then keep your Universal or your United States and Intercontinental titles. So you have brand-specific belts.
Yeah,
if you want to
that's an
market it
idea.
that way.
Yeah.
But everything else merged together so you have one champion for that whatever division jumping between shows. That way you can expand the roster but still keep the 2 brands separate. What the fuck do I know, though? Because I'm just sitting here in fucking Palatine Bridge, New York.
Don't tell them where we are.
I
We're
mean-
better than these people.
I mean, not Palatine Bridge, New York. I'm in fucking Kansas City. Hey, that's way far away, isn't it? That's at least a 5-minute walk.
Yeah. I always think it's funny, too, when there's 2 sets of tag team titles. And it's like, the 2 tag team champions, Randy Orton and John Cena, and the other champions, 2 guys that wear the same pair of pants.
I know they came out with the same armband on.
Like when Undertaker and Stone Cold were champions.
Yeah.
Like, put them against the Godwins. Yeah, maybe the Godwins will win.
Yeah,
You can't have one super tag team champion, then one non, because it'll make them look like shit too. Vince hates tag team wrestling. You think he'd be on board?
I know.
Well,
He
doesn't
does.
hate it, whatever.
I can't really say if he hates it or not. He definitely is not a fan of it.
Yeah.
Because how many times has he broken up great tag teams?
Yeah.
Great things have been going on. You're like, all right, we're going to split them apart now. Why? Ratings? I don't even fucking... Whatever. We don't need ratings.
We need a preacher character, Devon.
Yeah. One of the greatest tag teams in wrestling. Let's break those up and we'll put Bubba Ray in some kind of angle with fucking Stacy Keibler or some shit like that or whatever. And Devon, you're going to be a preacher.
But Bubba, you get to wrestle Triple H in the main event of SmackDown once.
Right. That's right. We'll give you a little bit of push. And fuck you, Devon.
I think, Devon, that was based off of his promo style. I wonder if he was actually on board with
testify.
that.
He testified.
Yeah.
Weren't you the one that said Kurgan was dancing at some fucking party?
Yes.
Someone's like, don't do that. And then lo and behold, he's
That
part
was
of
a Jim Cornette story. Kurgan, 7-foot Kurgan from the Truth Commission and the Oddities fame.
When the interrogator.
Yeah.
And he switched his name to Kurgan, but that's when he was fucking awesome.
You're right. The dancing is what got him switched to Kurgan. And no, it was Don
Really?
Callis. Don Callis.
Kurgan was... he was still the badass gimmick when he was Kurgan. He was the interrogator, and then they switched to Kurgan for whatever reason. And then suddenly he was fucking wearing tie-dye shirts.
That
and
was a
shit.
Don Callis story for anybody that hasn't heard it. They were at a wedding, and Kurgan was out there with his wife. And how tall is he? 7.5 feet tall, some shit.
Like 6'9".
I guess he dances like a motherfucker. He's got moves. And before that, he told Cyrus, "We're gonna go out and dance." And he's like, "No, don't do it.
It's like a fair warning.
Do not let Vince see you." And as soon as Vince saw him, the dancing giant.
Yes. And they tried to do it again with fucking Great Khali.
Oh man, yeah, that's
Came up-
weird, isn't it?
Vince has weird ideas.
Big Show, you try to do the spinneroonie. You remember that? That
No.
actually happened.
Did it?
He laid on the ground on his back and it just like spun like twice and then got attacked or something like that. But yeah, that's funny. Dancing Khali. Huh. Maybe Vince thinks because like he's into bodybuilders, these people born with all this natural huge size are just bumbling idiots. Like, yeah, dance.
It's funny. I laugh. Aren't you all laughing? Of course you are. You love it. I listened to a podcast today when I was working on a belt that Vince has like I don't think he really understands the concept of social media or gets the fact that like a lot of it is public. Granted, it's called social media.
Mm-hmm.
I guess on his Twitter account or something, he's liked a page like something about like
Stephanie McMahon's glutes.
ass. No, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's something about not bum fuck, but like ass something or other. Like it's something to do with like anal or
Something super dirt, really.
Something fucking.
All right, now there's a difference.
Off the wall.
Does it have to do with asses or anal? Because it's kind of.
I don't know. I heard it. I'll have to find it.
Huh.
I'll send it to you. But look for it out there because I can't fucking remember what it was. All I know is that when I heard it when I was working on this shit, it's made I stopped working. I'm like, what? What?
I heard a really good thing about Vince on that was a different podcast. they were saying, why does he keep Ellsworth around? He can't wrestle. Why does he keep him around? And this guy says, I think he just keeps him around like a zoo exhibit. Like he just wants to look at him like an oddity.
No.
Like he's like, what? Look at him. Look at his chin.
He keeps around like a fucking ugly pet. Like someone has a fucking hairless cat.
Yeah, I was gonna, yeah.
I was like, come here, has him on a leash and shit.
Now, to get off topic, have you seen the picture of the hairless cat on Facebook with no eyeballs?
No.
It just has hollow eye sockets full of skin. It looks like a skeleton cat. It's fucking horrifying.
That's James Ellsworth.
Yeah. You know, I saw him wrestle on the
$1,000 a pop.
long-
No, that was Dwayne Gill. Anyway.
I saw him wrestle about 8 years ago before he was on TV.
Ellsworth?
And the only reason I remember him, I saw him on TV and I go, I remember that fucking guy. He was on a tag team called Pretty Ugly. And the other guy's last name was Ugly. But I think I think his gimmick was like Beautiful Jimmy, or like he was supposed to be beautiful, but he wasn't, you know. But that's the only reason I remembered it. 'Cause
Wait.
I was like, Pretty Ugly, and that guy's name is Ugly? Look at that fucking guy. And then I saw him on TV, and I go, what the fuck is this guy doing on TV? So let's talk more about Ellsworth. This whole podcast about him, right? It's what the people wanted.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's not.
No, people want it. Honestly, I couldn't even fill up for the podcast about
don't
James
want to
Ellsworth
talk
because I don't really know
about it.
much about him. Other than he appeared as a kind of a throwaway jobber thing for Strowman. And then his chin kind of caught fire. And then...
That was in the Inferno match with Kane.
yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Kane set his glove on fire, gave him one of those.
Turns out that he really never had a chin. It was a prosthetic chin that just melted away.
Alright. What is your... No, he had a chin and got super kicked so hard it went all the way in the back of his head.
That's why he always looked...
As part of a settlement, he was able to wrestle. It was a Make-A-Wish thing. Bottom of his chin was jammed up in his brain. What is your favorite Vince McMahon match?
Probably... that I can recall... Even though the rivalry was awesome, I'm not going to say anything with Stone Cold. Probably his match was at WrestleMania 27 against Hulk Hogan.
Really?
Where they all
Oh.
got fucking bloodied.
Leg drop through the commentator's table.
It was a bloodbath.
Yeah, he leg dropped him through the
It
commentator's
was a
table. Hogan
fucking
did.
bloodbath. That's all I remember.
Or no, Vince leg dropped Hogan through the commentator's table. Matter of fact.
There was just so much red in that match. I was like, wow, this, especially for nowadays. I mean,
Yeah.
that was only what, 8 years ago.
Hogan could pull a blade job when he wanted to, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, now you say
He
that
did
match.
WrestleMania 7 against Sergeant Slaughter. He's bloodied all the fuck up
Yeah.
during that. Anyway, what?
What do you think though about? That's a good one. I kind of forgot about that one. I'm not a big Hogan guy. My first instinct was to say Vince versus Stone Cold from St. Valentine's Day Massacre when he took the crazy fall off the cage and knocked his head. I love that.
Whiplashed on the table. Like,
That was
that
amazing.
looked so painful.
And the table, the TV was still there.
Yeah.
And like his head hit the piece of wood on top of the TV. That was real bad. But then I thought of Vince versus Shane, which I think was also WrestleMania. Shane did the top rope elbow to the outside through
Was
the
that
table.
18 or?
I'm not good with dates or any of the show names, but those were the two I thought of. I hadn't
Maybe
thought
that
of the
wasn't bad.
Hogan match though. It's interesting though how he can pull off good matches just for his character and
Yeah, but that
the
was a long time ago.
storylines. Yeah, and
Now
the
he
blood.
just, he looks so old.
Oh, didn't that Hogan Vince match have a fake lead pipe in it though? Maybe that was a promo, a thing leading up to it or something. I swore there was some fake. I just hate when they use. Oh, he hit him in the head with a baseball bat. No, he didn't. He just hit him in the neck with a tire iron, right in the C4. That's in your neck, right?
Yeah. The C4. It was explosive. Whatever I'm fucking trying to say.
All right. So another question for you.
Keep going.
They say that somebody's best wrestling character is their own persona multiplied by 10 or 100 or whatever, right?
Right.
That seems to be a kind of an obvious thing, kind of a blanket statement. Now, Vince's character, he was in the spot of being the owner, so it's good to paint him as an evil scumbag. But why is he so good at it?
What, Vince?
Do you think that's him turned up 100, a misogynistic dirtbag?
Think about all the stories you've heard about him. Do you really think that's him turned up 100? I really don't. I think that's just his businessman, and he just gets to be like, I can be a little more colorful.
His businessman is him. That's a character too.
I mean, behind the scenes. I'm not talking about on camera. I'm talking about behind the scenes.
Oh.
Like, I think that like heel thing. I think that's him, just a little more colorful. I don't think it's anything like crazy. Well, actually, you know what? No, I'll go back on that. I just think it's a wrestler's thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess yeah.
So you
to go way back to the beginning of your question, yeah, I think it's just him with the volume turned up a little bit.
But he's
Same
a
as
little bit
Stone
of a dirtbag then.
Same as
if he's got the Kiss My Ass Club and he's got sex slaves for women's sex slaves and shit. If that's him turned up, he's got to be kind of greasy. As it is.
Your leave story.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wanted to talk about that also, but what? Yeah, it was.
That just is further proves the point here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just think that's him.
It's his benefit to represent that kind of character on screen, being a bad guy and all that. But is he that great of a worker that he can totally falsify this persona, or does he just jack up his own being a dick and then he's perfect for the role of? And it's got to be weird to imagine being a billionaire. And,
no, I just think it jacks up his own.
You think he hangs out with the owner of NASCAR because they're both like fucking billionaires, but they can't relate to any of their crowd because they're all hillbillies and shit?
No. I have a theory, I guess you want to call it. I think all super rich people or really successful people don't really like each other.
Really?
Because it's kind of like a
because they're in competition.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a lion in like the jungle. It's like fucking dogs. Like, I piss on that tree. No one else better piss on that tree. And then some the dog comes along. He's like, oh, someone dog piss on this tree. This is my tree. I think all rich people are like that. Because I'm trying to win the lottery, so I can really put this to the test.
Some people,
so I can.
And you know, a lot of it's probably like not posturing, but like chess. Like when Vince and Trump would deal with each other, they're both probably thinking, how can I fuck this guy over? Is he gonna fuck me over? I'm gonna fuck him over first. There's got to be a constant like. That's true, man. That's a good insight. Yeah.
That's what I could be completely wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, but.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I was thinking that like when I'm in the store and I see somebody with like slippers and pajamas on, I'm like, oh, you piece of shit, you know? Is he like, you're not in the store.
I have slippers and pajamas.
You got holes in your socks too, you fucking dirtbag.
That's true.
I probably do too. But yeah, I feel that it's got to be hard for him to be a super billionaire with $100 socks and look at even the people in the front row and, you know, there's nobody, I don't know.
Don't touch me.
Yeah. And then you think about his free time, what does he do? But you can probably just, he smokes cigars and goes on vacation and looks at the sun or something, stares at it. Gotta tan my eyes.
You're gonna go blind.
My eyes are looking too white. Do you think Vince is anti-Semitic? Because I don't see a lot of Jewish people. I mean, I guess it's anti-Semitic of me to say that there's usually Jewish people on the business side of things, but I don't see any.
Paul Heyman.
Yeah, but he's his own. You know, he from the ground up built the third. Well, not the third. The third biggest company in the last, that 10 years or whatever.
During the Attitude Era, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul Heyman's an established guy, I mean, I guess you wouldn't see a lot of the... Well, there's not a lot of fucking Jewish wrestlers either. Well, there is. There really
Goldberg.
is. Yeah. Yeah, there is. But I don't know. Do you think Vince is secretly homosexual? Because he loves big men, he loves working out, he loves bodybuilding and shit like that.
That's a hard one. That's I've asked myself that. Thinking,
yeah.
Am I homosexual?
You've asked yourself that. Jesus Christ.
No, like I don't know if he is or not.
Now picture this: how dominating he is in business and life and wrestling. Do you think he's going home and having vanilla sex with his wife, or do you think he's like spitting in her hair and shit?
It's like a Mormon just wears magic underwear.
No,
I'll use the pee hole.
There's no way that they're not having like weird sex. Like she probably doesn't want it. But like,
she tries to get away.
She'll just be sitting there and she'd be like, "Are you smoking a cigar again?" No.
You are.
Vince, do you have me on FaceTime with Stephanie again? Here's another thing. Here's a theory I have. Why is it that all these tycoon billionaires and all these rich guys inevitably get linked to some shadiness with wanting to bang their daughters? Like Trump and Vince. Do you think it's because they can have all these women and that's one thing they can't have?
Is that allegedly or is that proven with Trump?
He said super creepy thing. He said
Yeah.
I would marry her and all this.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's probably rich people just fucking bored.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, my life's just fucking too perfect.
She looks like me. She's perfect too. I can't have her though.
Fuck a horse.
What do you mean I can't?
Yeah, I can't. I'm a billionaire. I can have whatever
That's
I
a whole
want.
weird thing too. Like I was saying about his personal life, who knows what he's not sitting there watching Ring of Honor. He probably just sits on a boat and...
I don't even think he watches his own product unless he's there.
Probably not, yeah.
I mean, there is talk that he's always in gorilla position.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
Let's talk about him blowing both of his quads out at the same time. Now, from what I understand, that's an extremely rare injury. Not extremely rare, but it's a rare injury. And the odds of doing both of them at the same time, you have to be so fucking pumped. And what does he do in gorilla position before? Does he do...
That looks so goofy when that happened too.
He tried to stand up and
slides in the ring, both quads go, and he just sits there like a toddler.
But you know how much pain he was in?
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know the composure for him to just sit there? I remember I watched that live and I had no idea what was going on.
Why is he just sitting?
How jacked up was he on his old ass frame with these muscles to just hit both his legs and they both just rip at the same time? What does he do? Does he just...
I wonder if he was just pissed.
He's squatting hundreds of pounds back. Like how
He might not have been doing anything. Dude, human body's weird. Like,
both of them though.
But
he was jacked to the gills, man. You don't think he was just...
Look when Triple H blew out his. He just stepped. He stepped.
Yeah, but this was something I was watching recently. Actually, they were talking. They had interviews with like I forget, it was Mark Henry or somebody, and he was like, "This happens to so few people. Leave it to Vince to do two at once. That's 1 in 100,000. Not if you're jacked all full of horse with steroids and shit." I think that was him just being so ripped and so taut and shit, and so tightened up and ready to go that his muscles just popped off his fucking legs.
That hurts so bad thinking about it.
Yeah, you could probably feel it and shit too. Yeah, that was something. What an animal. What a fucking savage that guy was. But you also have to take away some credit because he obviously got jacked to the gills like that on steroids in the first place. So you got to put in the work to maintain that type of thing. But
oh man, that's milk. That's whole milk.
Yeah,
whole milk.
Connecticut milk. Got to move to Connecticut, I guess.
Yeah, but anyway, we're going back. Veering way off track here. His whole wild card rule. That is a response, I think, to the
Fox says, "What if we want
Fox and USA
this week?"
Yeah, Fox and both Fox and USA want like
we want so and so on this show, and so they're probably trying to get their fingers in it too much. Right?
Well, they don't want low ratings, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're big conglomerates, so they don't want low ratings.
And Fox is getting SmackDown.
What they don't understand is that it's not the fact that these shows lack star power, because both rosters on both shows are just packed to the gills of great wrestlers. Problem is there's no direction for any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Any of them. There's nothing going on. Like, there's no believable story that's being told anywhere.
Yeah.
Even the Kofi Kingston thing just feels like week to
I'm
week.
not impressed with that. Maybe you'll know this more than I
That was
do.
a bandwagon thing right from the get-go. And it's cool that he won. I'm not taking anything away from that. But I just... Right before WrestleMania hit, you knew he was going to win. And there was just... I had a feeling...
Oh, yeah, you knew he was going to win.
Well, there was a feeling that it's like, you know, this is going to be a bandwagon thing. And as soon as he wins the title, people are going to flip on him. And slowly they started to flip. They're like, okay, you know, what?
He had some sloppy moves on Monday. Do you think he deserves it?
No.
I don't think just because he's been there for 10 years?
Yeah, I don't.
Like, if you've been a price chopper for 10 years, you think he should be the president?
Well, should be. Razor Ramon, I mean, he was there for how long? He didn't get anything. He's never had a world title run. And he deserves it way before Kofi Kingston.
No doubt, he's one of my favorite. I thought it was funny, too, that back when Booker won the title, they're like, oh, an African-American champion. And I was thinking, what about Ron Simmons back in the day?
Yeah.
And now it's like the first African-American champion. I'm like, well, maybe for that belt, but what about Booker, like 10 years, whenever that was? Like, I know wrestling fans have notoriously short memories, but
like
doesn't it kind of shoot themselves? Vince is like, it'll look great, we put the title on this young black man. But like in doing that, you're saying that you should have done that sooner, but you did do it sooner.
Yeah, they're just kind of erasing history doing that, like retconning their own history. It's like you can't do that. Like,
and when's the last
we
time
have
you
the
saw?
network, $9.99 a month.
When was the last time you saw a world champion who was in a triple stable with other guys wearing the same tights and shit? You know, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I don't recall any.
They've never been in. Well, I guess maybe I didn't watch it, but
Ted
maybe,
DiBiase's another one that should have been a world champion.
yeah. How did DiBiase?
He was awesome heel back in the day, the late '80s.
Yeah,
He definitely should. He definitely should have had a run.
Yeah,
He could have been great against both Hogan and Macho Man.
I'd like to go back and rewatch some of his stuff. DiBiase's stuff. Fucking with that.
His old AWA stuff. He threw no fucking thing on here.
This is $19.50. I threw one in the garbage like 6 years ago. I need something to fiddle with, you know. Alright, what was my next point? Not so much off topic. What's your favorite Shane McMahon match? The one with the big spot, right? Everybody fucking says that.
Which one? He has a
know.
fucking big spot in every goddamn match. One against Steve Blackman was kind of cool, that spot.
Yeah.
He fell off the Titantron.
And that was believable because you saw where he landed, even though it was on a pad. The pad was still encased with
It's
like
still like
balsa
35,
wood.
40 feet.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, that was probably his most impressive fall, just for
was-
the pure height of it alone. What's your favorite match, though? That one?
I don't know. See, since he's come back at his older age, he's actually put on decent matches.
I thought you were going to say
his-
weight.
Better, yeah.
That too.
Better than his old matches. Like he actually.
You think so?
Thing is weird though. He sweats like he's like. He sweats like an absurd amount when he's wrestling now.
Really?
Like he's more nervous. I can't even. It's like someone just took like a bottle of water and just dumped it on him. But you know he didn't because he's not sweating that much when he comes out to the ring. He's still sweating, but not that much. And then as the course of the match goes on, he's just like gushing. It was like, what the fuck? Why are you sweating so much? Like,
Really?
Fuck's wrong with you?
Huh.
It's bizarre. It almost makes me cringe watching it. It's like, fuck, man, I wouldn't. He's sweating like a 60-minute Iron
Like
Man
those
match.
maximum sweat action figures.
Yes.
Should have made a Shane McMahon
Remember
one.
those shitty fucking
Do you think
things?
that's like a selling point as a wrestler? Just sweat so it just looks like you're trying
Yeah, it
real
looks like
hard?
I'm working.
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know.
What's your favorite? Would that be it though? The black one? I don't remember much of that match aside from...
Neither do I. That's my favorite spot. My
I know.
favorite match is, I think it was Survivor Series when he got knocked out from the spear from Roman Reigns.
Oh,
When he did
yeah.
the coast to coast. He got speared in midair. and
Did he get
himself-
knocked out for
yeah,
real?
he
That did-
knocked himself out.
That looked terrific.
That was a good one. But that wasn't really his match. It was the Hell in a Cell against Undertaker. When he jumped off the top. It was WrestleMania 31 or 2.
What year was that?
3 years ago? 4 years ago? I think it was 31.
Oh, I probably watched that.
Faced the Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. And he jumped off the top of the cell.
What do you do, an elbow drop to the table or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe I didn't see that.
Leg drop.
I like, maybe this is just because of how old I was when I saw it and how many times I've watched it, but Test and Shane McMahon.
I don't remember that.
Shane did the corkscrew moonsault the first time he ever did the top rope elbow to the outside. The Mean Street Posse were sitting in the front row on a couch, and Test body pressed him onto them. They used cookie sheets. Test took a glass picture and broke it over Shane's head with the glass facing away from his head, and it went all over. Mean Street Posse got involved. There was some cool shit that happened in that.
Street Posse.
That was for Stephanie. Test was the good guy, and Shane had to beat Test to bring Stephanie back to sit on Vince's lap, I think it was.
As he's dressed like Santa Claus.
She's my daughter, and I'll have her first.
Your freshness date has expired.
That's creepy.
I know it is.
Talk about creepy. All right, well, let's. I saw Vince McMahon on the Howard Stern show a number of years ago, and I was thinking even tonight that. Let me say it first. He said his first sexual experience, he was out in the woods with his cousin, and I think he said they kissed or something. He took her pants off, and he said he was so young he didn't know what sex was. His instinct was to put leaves inside of her. Dry leaves.
This is straight from McMahon?
On the Stern Show. Now, alright.
Do you think that's real? Do you think he was just putting on...
That's what I was thinking. If he was putting it on, his family's going to find out about it. That girl, his aunt and uncle have to be dead. Like, his family's going to hear... Like, Shane is going to hear that and be like, you wanted to put leaves in Aunt Karen?
Did you do it?
What a weird thing. And even that's part of it, like I was saying about his personality. Like, well, maybe it's just part of the human nature. Like, you want to put... Maybe that's why he's a genius mind.
No.
Normally, you're like, I want to put something in there. What do I... A normal guy would be like, I want to put something in there. What do I got?
Got this stick.
Vince is like, I want to put something... I got to find something.
Yeah, I know.
I
know what to put in there. Vince is like,
oh,
what illegal ratings?
Thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
You're in the box.
What could go in the box?
Leave my box alone. Did you say leaves?
Yes. Like the way you think.
How weird is that? So if he was making that up, what's the purpose? Just to purposely give Stern a really interesting tidbit, like to purposely say something crazy, and to paint himself as a naive, accidentally incestuous child. And if it's true, his fucking family's gonna hear that, man. His cousin's probably still alive. Like, oh, I remember fucking Vince tried to do that. That's weird.
I think that's a good example of, like I've said before, I don't think Vince has lost touch with the fans. I think the fans have lost touch with Vince, because Vince has always been fucking insane.
Yeah.
He's always been off the wall.
Nobody's ever mentioned this to me. Nobody's ever once told me, do you know that Vince was going to put leaves in his cousin's pussy in the woods when they were like 8?
Probably, like, you hear that and you're like, I want to forget that. I don't want to talk anything more about this.
I think you're right.
It was on the Howard Stern show, so you know fucking people heard it.
Yeah. It just really surprises me that nobody's brought up the absurdity of that.
You should say that. Just do like random interviews at wrestling shows. Be like, remember the time Vince said he wanted to put leaves in there? I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, people would leave.
People ignore it.
Yeah.
That is bizarre, though. It's really fucking bizarre. You think Vince is feeling pressure from AEW?
What do you think if we went to AEW and sat in the front row and made a big trash bag full of leaves and we wrote Vince's cousin on it? I think he is.
I hope someone from WWF or E or whatever, they watch it and they're like, son of a bitch.
You knew. Get Stern on the phone.
Kevin Dunn's watching it. You're like, I bet you Kevin Dunn was fucking there when that was happening.
He booked it.
Boss.
He produced that segment.
Kevin Dunn is like the fucking Baba Booey for...
Yeah, put some pine needles in there too.
Okay, both.
I don't even know who he is. Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn, he's like... What is it? Executive producer or some shit like that, and back. He's like the next guy down from Vince McMahon.
Was he ever on screen?
About once every 6 millennia. Like, if you saw him, I'll bring up a picture of him. If you saw him, you understand why he's never on screen. But I think McMahon's feeling pressure from AEW.
He probably doesn't act like it, but he has to. I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but you think he has to be. I watched it was a Chris Jericho interview thing he had on
Kevin Dunn.
Oh yeah, that's not a face that'll sell any tickets. I was watching a thing that had it was Chris Jericho hosting, Eric Bischoff, and was it Bruce Pritchard? I forget who it was. WWE guy, and talking about the Monday Night Wars, and somebody said that it was Jericho that said Bischoff. Somebody had told Jericho that they canceled Culligan Water at WWE headquarters. They're going under. They canceled the fucking water service. They don't bring them bottles of water anymore. They can't afford it. They had to cancel it. They talked for a couple minutes and they asked what's his name. They're like, is that true? And he goes, yeah. Yeah, that was true. So Vince has been driven to the point before where they have to cut the water budget for the whole headquarters. So I think he's been there before. He's obviously been there before with the ratings with WCW.
Yeah, look at the mid-90s, like 94, 95, 96.
And what is he doing differently now to try to avoid the same thing happening again. What he was doing is what you said. He loves this brand split, even though like initially the brand split I think was smart because you can't, you need competition. You need two different products. So then you have two, but now there's Ring of Honor, Lucha, Impact, Won't Die. There's lots going on. And NJPW, there's so many other ones now. And not only, now it's different. It's not, Ring of Honor versus WWF because they can't compete on the base level. It's WWF and then all the indies and then Japan and then NXT is against all of them. So I don't think there is.
I think the brand split initially on paper was a great idea.
It was to give the illusion of two separate companies.
But the fact of the matter is, it's still WWE, and the production value and everything is exactly the same. So it still feels like the same company, just in two shows.
And what they did,
so nothing different.
They ruined it pretty much immediately. Within a month, people are jumping the rail at different shows, and it took away from it completely. Why is it two products for every week?
If they really want to do a brand split, do a true brand split where you have like this team running this everything show, production, everything, a whole different production company and everything.
Yeah.
So it looks different and it's presented different.
One ring, 18 foot, 120. Maybe an octagon ring.
Yeah, and have the other one run whatever, the classic way or whatever.
Different ratings. Have one TVMA.
Have it two products, like actually competing.
Put the high flyers on the PG.
And either way, you win. So.
Yeah.
But McMahon didn't want one show to lose, and I think he just wanted the teeter-totter to do this constantly, like barely move, and
You don't think that isn't it a thing that people say he's always had a preference for Raw because it's a flagship show?
Yeah, absolutely.
But he wanted to have SmackDown kind of even out with it.
Yeah, more show. Here's, you talking about all the indies and everything, and how a lot of the indies are like doing joint shows and everything. Just to get more exposure, one, and make either one of the companies bigger.
Oh yeah.
Let's say I'm just going out. I mean, AEW may fucking fail in the first year. We don't know. Not gonna know until when it actually starts. But let's go out on a whim and say that it succeeds and it gets big.
So, do you say go out on a whim?
Yeah, whim.
Okay. Let's do it. Whisper in the whim.
That's right. Flippies and everything.
Flip dive.
Let's say that it succeeds and it gets big. Like, I think the first question would be like, all right, what's McMahon gonna do? Now his ego is like so fragile; it would like doing anything with any other company would be like sacrilege. But just for the sake, let's say he got desperate. What would you think of a team up, like joint shows, not a complete like merger or anything like that, but like joint shows ran like a true Survivor Series of WWE versus NJPW, where they had like Okada and Naito
worked, obviously,
and Ibushi and whoever facing like whoever the fuck, like Finn Balor and Roman Reigns and like their big names.
It would make them look like shit, probably. Some of them, Finn Balor could go.
Book the right way though. Book and like make them both teams look fucking like near unstoppable. Like if it was done right,
type thing.
Yeah.
And could we do it like the old?
I wish.
What about the '80s wrestling magazines? They sold the VHS. We'll call it Slant Eye Slaughter 2. I have a bunch of magazines that have a video called Slant Eye Slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like Japs from around the world. They say horrible things.
The '80s was another time. It was a different time.
Yes. Abdul the Butcher dominated magazine covers with Dusty Rhodes across the wrestling world.
Bruiser Brody all bloodied up. Yeah, but I think that something like that would be awesome. Just like joint shows with NJPW, because New Japan is
WWE's got nothing to gain out of it.
Well, no. But I'm talking like I said, hypothetically. Let's say W blew up and there was some major competition. Like if they did something like that would gain my attention in a heartbeat. I'd be like, yes, I would actually be. I haven't been invested to watch anything WWE in probably a couple years now.
Yeah,
I watch like the pay-per-views just because I watch WrestleMania because it's WrestleMania, not because the card looks awesome, because it hasn't in the last few years. I just watch it because it's WrestleMania.
I watch WrestleMania because you watch WrestleMania.
Yeah, more or less. And I'm like a fucking like battered wife syndrome, or someone going back to an abusive relationship.
Do we have to watch WrestleMania again this year, James?
I'll
shut up and come over.
I'll try it. I'll try it one more time. I'm sure it'll be better this time.
It just hurt so bad last year.
I know. So, yeah, I haven't been invested at all. But if they did something like that, I would completely be invested in the card. Regardless of what the card was, just to see those, like, different
cool.
styles and everything, I think it'd be fantastic.
You want to see Roman Reigns try to sell a jump up Frankensteiner off the apron?
I would love to see Roman Reigns get away from his whole gimmick now. And, like, go back to his FCW days when he actually wrestled. And he was a good wrestler. Because he was a good fucking worker back then.
I might have seen him back then.
Yeah.
I have a calendar with him on it that I got at one of those shows. And I don't know.
Fucking naked.
His name was Roman Lakai or something.
Yeah, he wore, like, the whole Hawaiian skirt thing and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if he was there at that show or not. But
He could work, though, back then. And then, like, now he's just booked to, like, Goldberg and fucking Brock Lesnar style, where it's like, you're going to do 4 moves. That's all you need. Hulk Hogan. Look at him.
He doesn't have much of a personality either.
No, when he tries, it's like 3rd grade coloring book. Like,
I don't know, y'all.
yeah.
What do y'all think?
Suffering succotash. Like, fuck you. Shut up.
Yeah, there's nothing genuine behind it.
No, there's not. And that's part of the writing team, too. You know,
He's probably a super nice guy too.
yeah, he probably is. Yeah, and I'm not dogging on him as a person.
No, which is probably why it's hard for him to be like, how about I kick your ass?
Yeah.
Okay. You know.
That's the writing team, which, you know, a lot of times you watch these promos and everything, and you sit back and you think, man, there's 20 fucking people back there that came up with this.
Yeah.
20 minds, which completely act as one mind. It's basically a fucking computer processor, like back there, all plugged into Vince's brain. They're like, yes, think.
Look at him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what it is, and it's sad. I don't want to see another Attitude Era, but I do want to see fresh ideas, and I want to see a return of the wrestlers being themselves, and having a little more freedom on the stick. Like, let their personality shine.
One of my biggest things, when I'm a huge indie guy, is I love a show where everybody, opening match to last match, goes out there to have such a good match, they fuck up the whole show and make it difficult for everybody else. I want everybody to try to be doing that. And in WWF, they don't do that because
that's what we used to do back. Remember FAW? I like the backyard wrestling. Fucking, you know, we were those shitheads too. But back in those days, like, after the first few shows, you wanted to be the opening match because, like, man, you're the last match. 1, the fans are tired. And 2, it's like, fuck, you watch all these other matches, like, no, I gotta top that.
I didn't have that problem because I knew nobody could top it. I had the bloodiest, it might not have been the best, I had the bloodiest, most violent match every show. Most weapons, most blood, most
that's every show
danger.
You wrestled.
Got caught on fire, yeah.
Sweat work pants, motherfucker.
That's why Ed and Rob wanted the first spot. Because, no, the first spot's good anywhere. Yeah, I like the mentality of the indie show where everybody can try to put forth their best. And WWF now is, you know, there used to be, we can't just give away these matches for free. They have to be built to pay-per-view or shit finishes and all that.
Well, but back in those days, they'd have a squash match. All the matches on Raw and shit were squash matches. It was the guy versus the jobber just to get them over against developmental talent. That's what it always was. It rarely was there ever, like, 2 main eventers.
But now you got to give the people those matches. Yeah. Because the indies are giving people those matches for no fucking reason. People, they'll be back, you know, a weird example would be Keith Lee versus Matt Riddle. I didn't know I wanted to see that. There's no build-up, but they booked it randomly somewhere. These indie companies are booking crazy shit because they're not looking. And there's not even a pay-per-view buy rate anymore. They just want people to make the product good, so people pay $10 to watch every week. Yeah. Nobody's saying like, "Oh, those pay-per-views, man." The days of paying $50 or whatever for a pay-per-view, I mean, it still happens, but they're so long gone for the hardcore fan. The $10 is such a bargain. You're not bringing people to the network with your pay-per-views anymore. You're bringing people to the network with the DVR sort of capability of it and the product. So make the product good all the time, and don't give away matches. You can still have build-up to them, so there's better reactions from the crowd and stuff like that. But
so you could almost say that, you could almost fucking say that indies are the fucking reason, like, why the ratings are falling, because they're giving away all these great matches.
Yeah.
And, there's fucking like pay-per-view main event matches every single week on Raw. Minus Baron Corbin.
Right, here's a weird example too. Matches you didn't know you wanted to see. Last month, Scott Steiner versus Hornswoggle. I saw it. I was there.
But you know what? You say those two names together in a match, you're like, what?
WWF goes, all right, what kind of storyline do we have for these two? We got to bring these two together, so this indie company's like, fuck, it'll be funny, do it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's all it takes. You don't need a huge storyline. That's another one. You don't need this. It's a huge thing. Sometimes you just, when they did, what was it, last year I think it was, when like a bunch of wrestlers came down with that one sickness or whatever, and a lot of like the week before a pay-per-view got pulled from the show, and they just had like random, they had like AJ Styles versus Finn Balor and shit like that.
That's cool.
Just random matches thrown together.
That's great.
And it was a fucking good card. I'm like, wow, there was no build up to anything. Like, so you could just have wrestling, and that's it. Like, wow, what a concept.
That's what Immortal Championship Wrestling has been doing with Brute Van Slyke the last few weeks. They're bringing out Terrell Kenneth, huge guy. I forget who was there, another huge guy. Like the three last ones in a row, it's just been a fucking hoss fight. No build up or anything. Just that'll be a great match. Do that. That'll be great. Do that. And build up is great. Storyline is great. Get the crowd invested in it. But there's some matches that are just so cool on paper that people are going to be invested in it no matter what.
Yeah.
And they can't keep denying us of these things.
See, that's the thing is like
how about that title for title match on Raw a couple weeks ago? Horse shit.
Yeah.
And then
it was horseshit because as soon as they announced it, you knew what the finish was going to be. Right off the bat, you're like, oh, we're going to have the Universal, especially the night after WrestleMania.
Just some
Universal
bullshit.
versus World title. Well, that's not going to have a clean finish.
Yeah.
You knew it wasn't.
And when I turned on the TV at 10 o'clock, they acted like it would. They're like, it's going to happen tonight. And
because, I would love to have sat there and watched it and been like, oh shit, I wonder what's going to happen. But you fucking McMahon does the same thing every week. He's not going to do anything crazy like that.
No.
And if he does, he doesn't. So there is no like hypothetical anything. He doesn't do stuff like that. So when they have these high stakes matches, especially on a Raw or SmackDown, it's not going to be a clean finish. It's not going to be a clean finish. It's not going to be a solid finish or anything like that, where there's any kind of payoff, where it makes the viewer want to stick around and watch it. That's why the third hour of Raw always, every week, suffers in ratings. It's just a huge drop-off. Another reason is because it's fucking 3 hours long.
That's all. That's the only WWE that I watch with any regularity for the last couple months. Actually, in the last 7 years. The only WWE I've watched with any regularity is the last hour of Raw for the last couple months.
You know what I'm going to start doing every Monday night? I'm just going to start popping in fucking
Xanax.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop in The Wrestler there, the Mickey Rourke movie every fucking Monday, and just watch that and be like, well, at least it's entertaining.
Yeah, I could watch a Necro Butcher match every night. That's fine by me.
That movie is awesome.
All right. So that Raw where they had the stupid fuck finish. What would be an acceptable finish for that to you? That was not a double title, the title change, obviously. Double count out because they beat each other up so bad.
An acceptable finish?
Yeah. Double pin.
All right. Well,
is it Vader? Okay, go ahead.
Here's the problem: is that was before the whole like wild card rule and all that shit. So at that time there was no, there was still a brand split, quote unquote believable brand split. So you couldn't really build either of them up to face each other because they were both allegedly going back to their respective brands.
Yeah.
Now, if there was no brand split, I think the perfect, like, let's say a perfect ending to that would have been they just get in a brawl, like, outside the ring and, like, a double DQ or something, and they just keep brawling. Like, start a fire between the two world champions, like a chip on both of their shoulder. It's like, fuck this guy, I'm better than you. And, like, this is the world title. It's a classic thing. It's been done how many years with AWA, NWA, and WCW.
You can keep the crowd happy.
Yeah.
You have the DQ, pull them apart, they go back together, pull them apart, go back together.
And build on that. Like, that was WrestleMania. Build on that for fucking SummerSlam. Like, have that go for the next 4 months up until SummerSlam and they clash. And then you have
and then we'll get fucked over again, though, man. And if somebody does win both titles, you're going to immediately lose one or be like, oh, this is my bodyguard, this is your title, or some stupid thing like that.
But again, that's a brand split, so they're not going to do that. So I guess the finish of what it was probably the best you're gonna get, unless McMahon did something crazy like what we're gonna.
But
Seth, because if he did it to Kofi, people would have been in an uproar. Seth, you're going to drop the Universal title the night after winning it. Kofi's going to be a double champion. And they'll just ride that coattail for however long that lasts.
how did they think that would get over? Like, the crowd would be like, oh my god, it's the bar that we've been watching for 10 years against these two guys that maybe have never tagged up? This is incredible. Like, how did they think that would be? Then it'll be a tag match.
The same reason every time they book...
Everybody's burnt out at the end of the weekend by that point anyway.
Like Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley or Baron
He
Corbin...
kind of sucks too.
And fucking what's his name, Drew McIntyre. When they have those,
He's all right.
when they have those two, Drew McIntyre could be great. He was way better than when he first came back in like 2008 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he was some baby face.
2008, he's been around for that long.
He's been around a while. 2010 maybe, but it was a while ago. Then he left for a while and he came back. But he's badass now. But he's stuck teaming with Baron Corbin in this mid-card thing. And same thing that happened with Braun Strowman. He's just kind of losing steam and so much care anymore. Like Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah.
Braun Strowman had the fucking fans behind him.
The guy needs a new outfit or something.
And I'll get on to that later.
It should have him be like the Amazing Colossal Man and lose a chunk of his face. Just have his skull showing.
Fucking Cyclops, or just has a melted piece of cheese on his eye.
Yeah. All right.
So Strowman and that's what, and Bobby Lashley too. Like all these big guys are like around anything to do with Baron Corbin. They're just fucking brought down into this like shithole of like nobody cares.
Yeah, he's an odd one.
But yeah, so I don't know, whatever.
All right, so now when you think of your favorite commentators, I hear a lot of people say they grew up with JR. Usually, JR's the
JR and the King.
To me, Vince is a huge part of my childhood as a because
I remember a lot of his calls.
Yeah, he was great. I think Vince is extremely underrated as a commentator. That might be just because he was on Superstars with Mr. Perfect and those guys when I was growing up. But I pretty much, I'd like to actually look up what years he commentated, because I don't remember a lot of JR on Superstars. He was with WCW at the time when I was growing up. When I was a kid,
commentated from like 92 or 93, I think, to 96.
That's it. That's where I was. That's
96, maybe 97, early 97.
I was 12 years old in 97, so I grew up with Vince. Vince is like JR to me. He's a super fucking underrated commentator, and I'm getting pissed about. He's underrated, dude. Really.
I think
maybe not underrated. Maybe.
It's a hard one. They could even flip flop in my mind all the time. But I mean, there's JR and the King, obviously, because I think most people would put that at the top of their list. But I would have to say, just above them,
Joey Styles.
No, would be Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
All right. Yeah, Gorilla was with Vince too. I remember it was It was Vince, Gorilla, and then it was Vince, Mr. Perfect, and Macho. Yeah, when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, that was back in.
That's interesting.
93.
Yeah, Bobby the Brain Heenan. I've heard a lot of his stuff, but he's a super good
I think
commentator.
that was later than that. Yeah, but those two, I think were a great duo. Great duo. They were hilarious, and Bobby Heenan was fucking hilarious.
Can I tell you my favorite Don Callis, the Jackal line from commentary? This is when Joey Styles usually commentates ECW pay-per-views alone, and very well, which is very hard to do, I understand. It's very difficult to commentate one alone, but this is when he had the Jackal Don Callis with him. I know I've told you this before, but it's pretty funny. It was a three-way dance between Tajiri, Super Crazy, and Little Guido. And Super Crazy and Tajiri start double-teaming Little Guido. And Joey Styles says something like, the Super Crazy and Super Crazy and Tajiri are double teaming Little Guido, putting the boots to him. And Cyrus goes, "These foreigners are diabolical." And Joey goes, These foreigners are diabolical? Do you have any idea what you just said? And he goes, "I'm a foreigner, Joey Styles. I'm from Canada." That was great. I got a lot of love for Joey Styles for sure.
I like his shoot, his fucking pipe bomb shoot rant he did.
Oh really?
Back in Raw.
That was on Raw, yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one. Ripping the fans and everything like that before he walked out.
I remember years ago he popped up online doing infomercials selling quarters, like gold coins or something like that.
You know what one of my least favorite lines are? I don't even know if it's actually Michael Cole, but boy, it fucking sounds like it. Is when he says, Taz hates everybody, even himself.
You told me that. I think that's fucking
and
great.
I heard that, and I'm like,
that's great, dude.
that's the dumbest fucking line.
He's self-loathing.
Taz hates everyone.
He's self-loathing.
Even himself.
That's amazing, dude. He tries so hard.
And you are the reason, people like you are the reason Michael Cole's still the fucking voice in WWE.
Fuck you, I hate Michael Cole. But that's why he trains so hard. He's so self-loathing. He's like, oh, I'm a piece of shit, but he's a bigger piece of shit. I think that's
trying to take
funny.
my piece of shit away from me.
A little bit of that is because it's so stupid, though. You're right. That is really, really stupid.
Taz hates everyone, even himself.
Well, how do you think that compares to Joey Styles? Taz has arms like legs and legs like people. That's pretty good too, huh?
That's just funny.
Yeah, right? I think I just said tee-hee.
He did see. And it's on camera.
Yeah.
That's a good day. That's going to be the intro to all these videos.
Joey had some good ones. So what else we got about Vince?
Oh, Vince. Let's get back on the Vince train here.
How much you think he spends on his clothes?
I don't know about all that. I don't really care about what he spends on his clothes.
Yeah, I don't either.
I really want... I don't know. I just... Every week, Raw is like this new thing. You know, there is one thing that they are doing great. Like, fantastic. And when I first saw it, I'm like... And then I watched the entire segment. I'm like, okay, I'm on board. And it turns out everyone's fucking on board. And that is the whole Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt.
I saw that.
That is
I've seen some great memes too.
fucking
Because
home run.
apparently he cheated on his wife, who he had kids with some woman from NXT or something.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of memes with that going on too. That I really enjoyed. Watching that live, the crowd was just kind of dumbfounded. It was cool, man. I enjoyed that.
I was when I first watched it. I'm like, what did that? Because Bray Wyatt is like of the modern wrestlers. Bray Wyatt's like right up there, like one of my fucking favorites. And what they did to him the last couple of years was just like insulting. Like what a spit in the face.
Didn't he have the title for a short time?
Yeah, a month. He was a paper champion to give it to Randy Orton, which is just insulting.
Who did he win it from?
He won it at the Elimination Chamber
Won it from a
a couple of years ago.
He won it from a good guy, so Randy Orton could.
No, it was Elimination Chamber. No, I think he. I don't know.
Transitional champion is another one they use.
I can't remember who he fucking actually pinned. I just know it was Elimination Chamber.
That's weird, isn't it? How you can have a shitty reign. Like, oh, you're world champion. You gotta be world champion.
Well, the thing is, they pulled the trigger on it like 2 years too late, 3 years too late, whatever it was. Like he was.
That was super over, man.
He had the fans like.
That theme song was great.
Everything. It was like when it was the Wyatt family against like the Shield and shit like that. Like, I mean, that was huge. And when they surrounded the ring around Kane and the Undertaker, like the fans were like on fire for Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, and they never did anything with it. They never pulled the trigger. He just lost matches to John Cena and shit like that.
Yeah, because Cena needed that push, dude.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's hard to get him over.
I mean, he only had like 13 title runs at that time, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't getting enough Make-A-Wish requests.
Yeah. So yeah, they pulled the trigger on him and gave him the title too late. And then the last year they started to book him against Broken Matt Hardy, which at the beginning of that
seems like gold.
Yeah, at the beginning of that I'm like, this is gonna be fucking great, and lo and behold, it wasn't. And then they teamed them together, and then that was just like a fucking like it was like watching the Space Shuttle Challenger. It's like, oh my god,
that sounds alright.
what the fuck is they doing?
That sounds cool.
Like, and and then he got thrown into the fucking lake, whatever.
The Lake of Minnetonka, where he purified himself.
That's kind of hot out here.
Of course.
Yeah, and then he disappeared for like probably like 4, 5, 6 months, something like that.
Was that an injury or what?
I don't know. I just think it was time off. It
Okay.
might have been just time off.
Really?
So when they started talking about like, oh, he's coming back, but there was really no window of when he was coming back, and they started hearing about things, looking for a new theme song and shit like that, and then he did a couple of dark matches and house shows.
As his old persona?
Yeah. Well, they debuted this fucking Mr. Rogers Pee-wee's Playhouse like
2 weeks
thing.
ago?
3 weeks ago, I think now.
Okay. I want to know what he did in the last 2 weeks if you do, because I don't know.
And I saw it, and you see Bray come through the door, and like initially, my first thought was like, well, I guess they're just trying to fuck this guy completely up. So
I was all about
might
it.
as well go for it. Well, nothing happened yet. He just walked through the door.
Okay.
I saw him, and I was like, what the fuck?
Do you think he has input in what's going on there?
I think so. I think he has some input.
Yep.
And then he started to talk. And I just, as the promo kept going, I started to listen. And, like, well, you could fucking... He still has it. There was something really fucking dark in his delivery of everything he was saying.
You're right, yeah.
On this, like, colorful kids
It
show.
feels like he shouldn't be here.
Yeah, like, this guy...
And it's not like he's touching the kids, it's like he's killing them.
Yeah, he's like fucking like something real, not like Seven, where it's like, yeah, this guy's fucking raping children.
Yeah.
No, this was like this guy's fucked, like, and he's talking, and then he closes the thing. Was like, all you have to do is like let me in. I'm like, and at the end of the promo, I'm like,
He's like that Momo thing.
This is fucking gold. Like, this is incredible, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, this fucking Pee-wee's Playhouse thing. I'm like, this is fucking great. I can't wait. And then I find myself every week now waiting for the Bray Wyatt thing and not giving a shit about the rest of the 3-hour show. Like, I don't fucking care what happens, because it's going to be the same shit we've
Same
already
here,
talked
because
about.
I was just super into asking you what happened in the last 2 weeks because I missed it. So has he been feuding with anybody, or is it more skits?
No, it's just promos.
Really?
And he hasn't even shown up.
No
on Raw.
names have been mentioned or anything.
Pre-recorded
That's awesome.
promos.
I'd like to watch them now.
Yeah, and they're fucking gold. If you haven't watched them, go out there and watch them.
Now, do you think how much of our enjoyment of that is because it's really awesome and out of the ordinary, or how much is it because we're just so used to the same old shit and see that? And what's a throwback too, for sure? I think it's not even a throwback. They didn't have character. It's so over the.
Well, there's some throwbacks to his old gimmick. There's throwbacks to Waylon Mercy.
No, I mean that's what I meant. Throwbacks.
Yes, there's
to, like,
throwbacks
the
to
90s.
that. There's nods to it. It's different.
Oh, how about the skyscrapers? Let's turn this into a podcast about the skyscrapers and talk about how cool
Tyler
they
Mane
were.
in them?
What? No, Sid Vicious and Waylon Mercy.
Oh yeah.
Dangerous Dan
that's right.
Spivey. I'm sorry.
No, Tyler Mane was fucking. Tyler Mane was Michael Myers in 2007. Anyway, so yeah, the new Bray
I
Wyatt.
was gonna say, that's not even a wrestler, is it?
No, he was Tyler Mane. Was a wrestler in Japan.
He was he was Michael Myers in Japan?
No. He played Michael Myers in the 2007 remake, and he was Sabretooth in 2000's X-Men.
Now, you know there's a Michael Myers gimmick that used to be in FA.
Yes, there
FMW.
was. I can't remember who the wrestler was, but
Chainsaw Tony Myers was Leatherface, and then the other guy was Mike Samples was Jason.
yeah, there was Jason too. Anyway.
Doug Gilbert. Doug or Eddie Gilbert was probably one of the because they did that shit a lot too. The horror movie guys.
Yeah, so the Bray Wyatt thing, anyway, go back. That is because it's fresh and actually fresh.
Yeah.
You watch it, especially if you watch. Just go on YouTube. That's all you gotta fucking do. Watch the highlights of Raw and save the Bray Wyatt thing for last. So go through all the Raw highlights, watch them, take it in for the fucking glorious, 20 minutes you can watch it, and then watch the Bray Wyatt thing and be like, yeah, this is definitely different. It's different,
Yeah.
because just the delivery, just everything's really twisted. The last
production.
one they had fucking like the three. There was a bunch of kids at the end of it, like sitting down, like they would like story time or shit like that at the end of it. And Bray goes over there, with this fucking weird fucking smile on his face, kneels down next to him, and all the kids have this really, really down, like just not interested look on their face, all staring off in a just a odd direction, not toward the camera, just somewhere else. And like he's fucking like living it up. I'm like, that's creepy as shit. Like that's so fucking.
The kids
creepy.
are kind of they're
Yeah, they're all just like,
or they're brainwashed or lobotomized.
yeah.
Or
I'm like,
something.
this is fucking great. It's And yeah, I'm so sold on that.
Massive contrast. That's actually a very good idea. If he's so adept and so good at playing characters that are dark like that, that first character was super dark, Wail and Mercy, the De Niro movie, Cape Fear, murder type shit, and then to do the opposite but not come off as so bright and sunny. You can see underneath it.
But the thing is that
I like it.
The way they're doing it too is he's not completely forgetting the old thing. He said, "I did a lot of bad things back then." There was one where he's painting a picture, and when he turns it and shows the camera, it's the picture of that shack burning down from WrestleMania when Randy Orton burnt down that thing, his old home or whatever.
It's a picture of Shaq from WrestleMania?
Yeah, Shaq.
They're pushing the Big Show feud again?
I don't know why, but they are. It's never going to happen.
The Shaq and Big Show in the Inferno match? Shaq burned down?
Shaq lost. Spoiler alert.
He's dead.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a picture of that. So they're doing throwbacks and to his old gimmick. Like they didn't just like wash their hands of it and throw it out like it never happened.
Yeah, they're
and he always says like,
cool.
you know, you can do things and you can be you can be forgiven as long as you express yourself. And so it's basically that old gimmick just growing.
Me, for example, I chased Luke Harper to AEW.
That's right.
I don't know, do you think he's going there?
Luke Harper?
He asked for his release.
Yeah, I know he did.
Former
No,
IC
he didn't get it though. They actually extended his contract 6 months because he was out on injury.
Wow.
So they're just being spiteful with that one.
So that maybe that goes. We were talking about a while ago that they are worried about the.
Yeah, because they're trying to sign up, like renew contracts.
Yeah.
Fucking John Moxley's back.
On WWE?
I don't know. Nobody.
Oh no, Moxley. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Nobody really knows.
See, that's how cool of a guy I am. When you said John Moxley, I didn't even think Dean Ambrose. I'm like, oh, he's back. I know him as that because I also know.
Shut the fuck up. Whatever. It's the same brand.
His name didn't. It wasn't always Daniel Bryan. Before that, it was
Bryan Danielson.
It was Bryanson Daniels.
Bryanson Daniels. Yep. That was Bryan Danielson.
Nope, Bryanson Daniels. You question me all you want, man.
No, but Moxley didn't, or Ambrose didn't renew his contract, and like 3 days after his contract expired, he came out with that promo that was John Moxley coming back.
I only saw a screen cap. I didn't see.
But here's the thing: is the promo was done so well and so like well produced that there's some people that are like, there's some people that are like, maybe it was WWE behind it. But then other people's like, yeah, but he made good money, so that could have been...
Does he own that name, though? Would that be a thing?
John Moxley?
Yeah,
that's his name.
Is it his real name? No, it's too cool.
That's his ring name. I don't know. So some people like, oh, he's definitely going to AEW. Other people like, I think he's just going to work the indies.
They probably do fucking both.
I don't see him like going back to CZW or anything like that.
No, not CZW.
He might do like a one-off or something like
not
that.
in CZW. They don't draw for shit nowadays.
Oh, no.
Maybe if they could afford him to have him wrestle in front of 80 people, if it was really be worth it to him.
Well,
we could double our crowd. There'll be 200 people here tonight. If he did
CM Punk did that run-in.
Yeah,
his first ever.
You told me about that.
Yeah, it was his first ever whatever promotion.
Now, do you think that's leaning towards him coming back into wrestling? Or do you think that's more him doing a cool favor?
I think that was a favor.
Yeah, get some buzz for that.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat though.
Favor. Yeah, but anyway, so John Moxley did that whole thing, but now nobody really knows what he's He's
alluded to having one more death match in him. Who do you think it would be against? Obviously, him as such a superstar.
Couldn't even fucking tell you.
It'd have to be somebody who could wrestle. I mean. Nick Gage is
I say it'll be Nick Gage, and then WWE will sign him, and he'll be fucking.
They're not signing Nick Gage. He robbed the bank. Nick Gage, eat it. I don't give a fuck if I live or die.
Jimmy Snuka killed a bitch.
Do I look like I'm a fucking family-friendly guy to you? Matter of fact, I hate kids. That's a Nick Gage promo.
He's got a kid's toy right next to him, so don't listen.
I was in a parking lot of a CZW show with Petey one time. And I had a beard and a buzz cut like Nick Gage, and Masada. Petey had his hair in a ponytail and shit. And then we saw them and they saw us, and Petey's he's timid and shit. He's closeted. So I said, "Hey, what the?" We went up and started talking to him.
Is that what he said?
Hey. And
I like this guy.
After the conversation, they walked away, and I go, "Hey, Petey. You think they looked at us and was like, oh, look, it's the fucking totally pussy versions of us?" Because I was all doughy and shit.
It looks like us, but fucking gay.
Yeah, we looked like the pussy fucking versions of them, for real, we did. I just want to talk about Nick Cage now. No, this is the most... Alright. We had to do some preparation for this Voodoo Kin Mafia edition of the thing we're doing. This is the most important observation I wanted to mention to you about Vince. But the most important... Here on Quackers and Cheese, we ask the hard-hitting questions. Do you think Vince McMahon has to shave his face, or he just doesn't grow a beard?
No, I think he should just...
I know a dude that looks like has similar features to him. The hairstyle, color, facial features. Doesn't grow a beard. He's a big Star Trek fan, and he goes, oh, I tell people I'm an evolved human. I'm highly evolved. I don't have to grow a beard and shave.
No, he shaves.
Have you ever seen him with 5 o'clock shadow?
No, but I'm just go ahead and shave.
He probably does, he has that with
does horse steroids.
He's got a thing with tiger hair on it that he applies his and he has somebody shave him probably too. You've never seen his stubble though, man.
His daughters shave him.
You know there's people that can't grow beards, right?
Dad, you're in the bath again. Just come here and shave me, daughter. Bring me a tonic.
Can you picture? I could picture him. You could picture a woman with a beard though, but I don't know if he can grow a beard, dude. Why has he never ever had one his whole life? No goatee, mustache, nothing. Everybody had mustaches. You don't think his dad was like, you gotta need a mustache like Mean Gene?
I used to have that. Yeah, but his son never fucking shaves either then.
Maybe he can't grow a beard either.
It's a genetic thing. Maybe you're right. You're onto something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's genius shit. Vince Sr.
Either that or not even fucking real.
Dude, listen.
I've never seen their navels either.
I've seen 2 pictures of Vince Sr.
Of his dick.
He didn't have a beard. Or a navel. It was at a naval base. He didn't even have one.
That's fucked. I'm gonna have to ponder this the rest of the night now.
Maybe Vince isn't secretly gay. He is just so envious of the manliness that is required to be able to grow a beard that's why he's into bodybuilders and all this manly stuff.
One day.
He's just looking in the mirror at his 30-inch biceps like, oh, gross. God damn.
There was only a beard on that.
If I could do face pull-ups.
What are you doing? Doing sit-ups with my chin.
Wouldn't that be hilarious, though, if the wannabe epitome of manliness just can't grow a beard, so he just gets hugely jacked. I'm going to own my own bodybuilding organization.
There are going to be beards all over. I'm going to go up to each one of them and just shake the beard.
Here's another thing I was thinking of when we're talking about Vince today. Tell me what the purpose was with him calling Booker T a nigga. Can you tell me what that... You didn't see that?
No.
That was back when I was watching it regularly. Booker's talking to Queen Charmel when he was King Booker in WWF a long time ago.
So it was like, what, 2004 or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere around there?
And Vince walks up and, Booker's like, oh, how's it going? And Vince goes, huh, what's up, my nigga? And he walks away. And Booker T looks at Charmel like, what the fuck just happened?
Tell me you didn't say that. No, I didn't know about that.
The only possible purpose, like, I could think of would be to, maybe it was a transition, I don't remember what was going on at the time, was it a transition to turn Vince into a more sympathetic role, where they're like, oh, Vince is just so out of touch, he has no fucking idea what's going on.
I'm black too.
Or was Vince just like, I want to call him that on TV?
Yeah, how can I do it? I'll just do it.
I want to say it once, and Patterson's like, you can't say the R. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, watch me.
We just said we're losing sponsorship if you say it with a R, Vince. What sponsorship? All of them.
Yeah.
Right, go tell him he writes something down. Go give him this.
He's gonna just say AH.
It didn't do anything for Booker. It didn't make, Booker was just dumbfounded. Like,
It didn't do anything for anybody.
It was either for the laugh, which definitely happened.
It was definitely because Vince McMahon wanted that. That was a McMahon thing.
You gotta watch.
Had to have been. Yeah.
And he puts his hands and he's like, oh, my nigga. He's so happy with himself and shit. It's hilarious. That's the wrong side of history right there.
That's what Booker T did the same thing to Hogan. Remember that?
I was just watching a video. You know, when he says that, he
Booker
goes,
T was like, I thought that was my career. Right
you know his
there.
reaction when he goes,
Yeah.
have you ever seen WWF on The Weakest Link?
No. Yes.
What October Thanksgiving celebrates the colonization of something or other? I'll go back to that. And then they ask again, he goes, Thanksgiving? And she goes, October? No. And he goes, like, and you could, for a brief second, you can see the same reaction when he said that to when he said October's and Thanksgiving is not. You could see he's just like, oh,
Damn it.
I also heard in an interview recently that he does not think that's funny at all. You can't joke about it. Obviously not. There's a lot of racial undertones there too, kind of. That's a race thing, and it's super embarrassing.
He talked to Hogan about the time he did that. And
Really?
Hogan was like, I think Hogan actually saw it as a chance to be like, maybe I can lighten
No
the
doubt.
load on myself.
No
and be like,
fucking doubt.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was that big of a deal. Like, I was like, how do you not fucking realize?
Now I noticed, brother, that you mispronounced it.
Yeah.
I was only pronouncing it because I was reading the Queen's English, brother. That's what. There's an R in the dictionary.
That's right.
I was trying to say it like that.
Listen, facts are facts.
I love 7-foot niggas. I stopped saying that.
You're getting too comfortable.
Put that in the intro.
I am. That'll be the first thing. Intro of the podcast. I love 7-foot niggas.
You said it now too.
Holy shit.
Let's get away from this.
Okay.
I gotta show you that video though, man. It's pretty amazing. And I think and obviously what you want to think in your head is just like, well, Vince just wanted to say it, so he found a way to do it.
Yeah, I guess. Like, going back, Vince fucking, he's got a warped sense of. Actually, I think he has a warped sense of reality, but
He can't even.
he
like,
can't do. That's probably the reason why he's not on any TV anymore, or actually does hands on with the product, because he can't do any of that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because now the society is so fucking like sensitive and soft. Like he's like, man, if I sneeze wrong, I'm gonna lose sponsors. Like, so he
And
just
that's
like.
a funny position to be in too, because he can't really be the heel. Like you can always say, "Oh, I was a heel when I was." I think you're right.
I was a heel when I was able to be me.
Linda, I was a heel when I cheated on you for 20 years. I was in character.
Yeah,
You should have seen. Look at the heat I'm getting with you.
yeah, that'll work. I'm trying to do that out there.
Don't you want to buy a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt right now? No, Vince, my life is over.
I am.
Ah, the reaction.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a crowd of
I like it
50,000 or one.
I like it when it's raw. You want that reality.
Now chant, you fucked up to me.
Yeah.
You fucked up, Vince. You fucked up. Say it again.
She's a crack whore.
Vince, I can't believe you had sex with that woman on the street. She's a crack whore. She's a crack whore. Join in.
Yeah.
Shane, get in here.
We can really get that. Bring everyone in here.
Patterson.
What a relationship. That's a catch. That's a fucking reality TV show right there.
You know that when Vince, he probably hasn't even had sex with Linda in years. But can you imagine them having like loving, like super rich people, vanilla sex, as dominating as Vince is? No way. Vince has got her like eating out of a dog bowl or something, you know?
And that's before anything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Here's your kibble, woman.
Here's your blood pressure medication, you pig.
Yeah.
And Linda like is running. She will want to be politician, so you know that she's all squeaky clean on the outside, and Vince is all well.
What do you think she has to think every time like shit happens? Shit. Well, not so much now anymore, but especially back in. Yeah, I bet you that's a reason why.
Hopefully, she thinks every day, every time something bad happens. Hopefully, she thinks, well, it's not as fucking shitty as that time Kane tombstoned me on the stage and missed by a foot.
It's not as shitty as the fucking Katie Vick angle.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're dead. I screwed your brains out. What? I did it? I screwed your brains out.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
That's a golden time in wrestling.
What do we have for other references of necrophilia in wrestling?
A lot of people they asked Triple H, like, did McMahon sign off on that when you did that? Triple H goes, McMahon was in the same room when I was doing that. He was there when they were filming it. Like, well, that's not surprising.
No, I want you to have a half a boner.
Yeah.
Not enough to tell on TV, but
Do you want me to help you?
something's going.
I can help you out if you want. You got that beard.
I learned this workout. It's called the reverse wrist twist. Put it at waist level.
Make sure you get his beard in the shot. Yes, sir, McMahon.
Do you think that Vince's hair is fully gray by now, but he still has dye a little bit of black into it?
Like a streak.
Yeah.
So he looks like fucking Sindel from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, yeah. That's a weird character. I wouldn't have been able to think of her name ever, dude.
I just had a Mortal Kombat conversation during my
I haven't thought of her in
cast when fucking...
She was the siren with the gray hair.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. She sucked. I've been watching some Mortal Kombat, some of your AVG and stuff lately, and I don't... So what do you think about Glacier, speaking of Mortal Kombat?
Gosh.
Yeah.
I don't. Didn't he... Oh no, that was the GC, whatever.
Yeah, he appeared for that. I think he wrestled Joey Janela or something. Hey, do you believe in goats?
Do I believe in goats, like
Yeah.
greatest of all time?
No, goats.
The animal.
Yeah, like you ever seen one? Like
No.
you hear all these stories about them. I haven't seen one either.
They don't fucking exist. Unless you're talking about Krampus.
I definitely stole that from a different podcast, but
It's gimmick infringement.
I think it was supposed to be ghosts, but they spelled it wrong.
You believe in goats?
So then they ask it every
You believe in goats?
it's similar at what? You mean ghosts? No, goats. You believe in them?
I believe in the goat,
Michael Jordan.
which is either a cross between Shawn Michaels or Chris Jericho. According to a lot of people.
Really? Jericho?
Yeah.
Do you think that's probably just because
Constant reinventing himself. You know, he's challenging
Yeah.
for the IWGP Heavyweight title.
that's and he's been known as a solid.
And he just
He
keeps
never
going
he
and
never
going.
had size to rely on. He's always been a
No.
super solid technical wrestler. He
He's
cut his teeth in Japan and shit. Yeah.
Great wrestler. Great
ECW,
gimmicks.
WCW, WWF.
He got a fucking list over. You just
Yeah.
made the list. And it was fucking hot for like a year.
Yep. Yeah, and he'll just go on tour for 6 months and go back to WWF when he wants to, as he pleases, and go burn the plate fucking Japan down with Kenny Omega. And
Yeah, he did that. He fucking has his rock band he goes out and does whatever with. And he fucking, like you said, goes back to WWE. Then he leaves, gets blessing from McMahon to go to AEW. And then McMahon fucking, like he actually signs the AEW and pushes that hard. And then McMahon's all pissed at him. Whatever. It's like, dude, you said...
I had to put this in a glass for the next time, so it's not.
What the? He just
Char-
circled that completely around, took a drink out of it again.
I don't know. I'm gonna take a leak. You want to talk about Vince for a few minutes?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think with that, the last, yeah, I think got enough Vince gripe out.
So you got
for-
your favorite Vince match. I really want to stress that the 2, 3, or 4 per show thing is like phone a friend, 50-50. Like it brings a real it brings a real game show element to
wild
wrestling.
card thing, yeah.
Stupid. Well, yeah, wild card. It's a fucking card game. It's cards. It's games. It's pull slots. It's TV game shows. You know.
Yeah.
Any points you score in this round will be doubled. And 3 wrestlers can come over from SmackDown. You don't know who they are. It's stupid. It makes it feel like you're watching a fucking game show.
It's like Family Feud.
Yeah, but I like Steve Harvey. And Louis Anderson.
Yeah, I'm not really sold on the whole thing.
Family Feud?
I'm
You
actually.
should watch the older episodes.
I'm not actually. I'm gonna wait until the actual contract with Fox kicks in. I think it's in October to see what actually happens. Because right now is a transition period between now and then.
It's got to be Fox then. And it's like, well, we got this new thing going. We want this guy and this guy. Like,
Well, Fox paid, it was $1 billion, I think, their TV deal. Something like that. So they paid big money. So, of course, McMahon's going to have to listen to something that they say. You can't just... And their ratings just keep going down and down and down. And
why don't they have a TVMA show? Would it damage the image of the company and the product that much?
Mattel, I told you.
Oh.
The whole Mattel
You didn't
thing.
tell me tonight.
Sorry.
You got to be more Jack specific than that.
Yeah, well, Jack Pacific should be the fucking still toy company that goes through them. Anyway, yeah, so evidently When WWE signed a deal with Mattel to put out their line of action figures, Mattel had major influence in what they put out on TV. So when they did that, you don't see any kind of
Who gives a
scantily
fuck
clad
about action
anything.
figures?
You don't see like vulgarity, or you don't see any adult themed anything. That's why scripts are so heavily produced and edited, and why nothing seems organic when they talk. Like they're talking about Roman Reigns, like, I'm gonna kick your ass, buddy. It's like, no, you're not. Fuck you.
What does St. Louis think about that?
Yeah, like I said, that's the reason, because apparently that's at least one of the reasons, because their deal with Mattel. Just get rid of them. Go to fucking NECA.
Action figures are fucking dumb.
Yeah, go to NECA, because they put out fucking horror movie action figures and shit. Go to them. Then even fuck it, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do.
Children buy action figures.
People buy their shit anyway, so.
I mean, adults pay for them, but they buy the action figures for kids.
Yeah,
Anybody who's into action figures is a piece of shit.
that's right. How much was that?
$19.50.
Fucking A.
Yep, $19.50. Back in the day, $4.99. But now
some of those are fucking $40.
you can hide your weed in there.
And with that, fucking.
But hold on.
What am I doing?
You finish your shit up on your own. I gotta go.
I'm out. I quit. He quit.